It's actually getting it done, because I think most people in the member mind know what they have to do, and the instruction they get and the help they get is really easy to follow. It's actually doing it, and especially if it's stuff that you don't like doing or you think you're not going to.
Yeah. Or it challenges you because you've got to put yourself out there and get seen. And there's that fear of judgment. There's that fear of failing or messing up or looking stupid. Or, one of the conversations we had earlier was about we've neither of us got any makeup on. And like, actually, do you know what? That's a very easy excuse to stop us getting on and doing this. But nobody cares that much about whether I've got my eyeliner and my mascara on. What they really need is that reassurance that they're doing the right thing, that they can do this. So, Claire, tell us what we're going to be talking about today.
Right. So today we were talking this morning a little bit about getting back into it. We've both been on holiday and we've both sort of like had to refocus this morning, and that can be quite difficult, especially when you've got other distractions. And we were talking about the things that would make a bit of a difference, and particularly with things like LinkedIn. I think all social media is difficult until you try it and you'll find the thing that you love the most. For B2B business, LinkedIn is the place to be, and having, a YouTube channel is really, really important at the moment, and video is really important at the moment. So we were talking about ways of connecting, and I was saying that I'd been at a networking group and talking about how some people find it really difficult when they're not face to face to actually connect with people. It feels really spammy, it feels really icky to try and introduce yourself. And I don't know about you, but it doesn't matter how nice someone is when they DM me on LinkedIn, or they ask for a connection. I get all excited, and then the other half of my brain goes, what do they want? It's really not nice. It's not. You'd never say that if somebody walked up to you and said, hi, my name's Claire. You wouldn't think, what do they want? You just say hello back, wouldn't you? But it doesn't feel a natural way to do it on LinkedIn. So what we were talking about, Bev and I, this morning was about how we make it more natural. And one of the best tips that I've heard recently that is getting quite a lot of traction for people who use this method is to actually, when you've got a new connection or someone's asked to connect with you, when you're on your dog walk at the end of the week on the Friday and you've got a few minutes, just have a look back, because unless you're getting hundreds of connections every week, great if you are, but unless you're getting hundreds, most people get, a few connection requests each week. And they were saying, go on and literally press the microphone that's in your comments bar at the bottom. So instead of typing in a message to say, hello, thank you for connecting with me, if you literally just hit the microphone and send a personal message. So if Bev had dropped into my connections, I could press the microphone and say, hi Bev, it's Friday, my name's Claire, thank you so much for connecting with me, really excited to meet you, have a fabulous weekend. And that's it. You don't put any more. You don't try and sell them your services. You don't even tell them what you do. And the reason it's working is because first and foremost, you can hear my voice. There's a person behind that connection. And so it's really hard to ignore when someone literally messages you with their voice, whereas if someone types to you, you can just file and forget it, can't you? So you're more likely to get an answer. Hopefully they will press their microphone and talk back to you, but whichever way it happens, if they've connected with you, what happens then is the algorithm recognizes that they want to see more of your posts. So first and foremost, it pushes more of your posts their way, and the vice versa happens. So because you've messaged and reached out to them, and that's good if they're likely to be a potential customer, so they're going to get to see more of your stuff. But what's also great about it is if you're seeing their posts, it's a little bit more natural then to start commenting on them rather than just being some random person that says something. So you're starting to build a rapport. And I don't know about you, Bev, but I don't have any problem going up to someone face to face now. It took some time, but now in a networking thing, it feels much more natural to me than to start commenting on people's posts unless I know them. In the business sense on LinkedIn. So it's quite a nice way to start a conversation and actually feel like you're getting to know someone. So that was my tip. We were laughing about it and saying, well, that's a good idea. And then I said, of course, you do actually have to take the time to be on LinkedIn and to do that posting, don't you? And you were talking about something that happened when you were with the planning session this morning. You were talking.
Yeah. What I kind of picked up on last week was that I was so unfit. and I need to do more exercise. And my immediate response was, well, it's easy when I'm on holiday because I've got more time. But when I'm at home and I'm working, I don't have the time. And I was also listening to, I think it was Alex Hormozy, his audio book, and I'm sure it was him. I can't remember exactly. Was talking about the fact that we have 1,440 minutes in a day. And it just got me thinking that out of that 1,440 minutes a day, can I really honestly, hand on heart, say that I can't find 60 minutes? 60 minutes of those 1,440. And then my little analytical brain and little kind of brain never stops got going. And I thought, I wonder what that is as a percentage of the day. And actually, it was 4.27%
Wow.
of the day. That's it, 4.27%.
Tiny.
It's tiny, isn't it? So can I genuinely, honestly, hand on heart, say I do not have the time to take just over 4% of my day? And if I only did 45 minutes, it wouldn't even be 4%. So this was my kind of thinking. I thought, right, 4% of my day I'm going to spend making sure that this vessel that has to see me through to the end of my days is getting a little bit of time and attention, which then led me on full circle back to business. And I thought, well, actually, some of those things that we need to be doing that we don't tend to do because they feel enormous, we could do in 4% of our day. So I challenged the ladies that came to the Plan With Me session this morning to commit to 4% of their day doing their LinkedIn network building. And I love what you've just said about using the video, because I think that actually is a great way to do it. So my idea with
audio, because some people are terrified of video. It's the audio. So
audio. Okay, audio. I'd be doing video, but there is a video option there as well. But yes, okay, let's walk before we run.
Yeah.
So for me, that 4% is 60 minutes. So if every morning we took 60 minutes at the start of the day, before we checked our emails, before we did anything else, we obviously work on the body, on health, or whatever you need to do, but commit to that 1 hour, 20 minutes connecting with your ideal clients, using the silent outreach that I talk about in the accelerator. Literally just finding your people, connecting with them. I probably wouldn't say at this stage to send a voicemail. I wouldn't do that at this stage. Just send them out, 20 minutes, however many you can do in 20 minutes. Then spend 20 minutes strategically commenting on the posts of people that you're already connected with. So rather not just randomly commenting on everything. I mean, I could comment on Claire's posts if she ever posted. I could comment on Claire's posts, but that's not strategically useful to me in that hour. I could do that in my lovely free time when I have a cup of tea later. So it's a strategic 20 minutes commenting on people who you might want to work with. So you'd be probably looking at searching on the people that you've connected with reasonably recently and adding some sort of value-driven comment. So nothing about, oh, I can help you with that. I've got this service, More just some thoughtful comment on what they're posting, and do that for 20 minutes. So you've got 20 minutes of connecting, 20 minutes of commenting, and then the final 20 minutes is creating. Oh, I've just realised that, I love a bit of alliteration.
You do indeed.
So we've got connecting, commenting, creating. There you go. There's your 3 C's in that 60 minutes. And then you spend 20 minutes writing a post. And I say this all the time. I normally say if you're spending more than 10 minutes writing a post, you're overthinking it. So you've got 20 minutes here. You could record a little video. Video is huge on LinkedIn at the minute. It's massive. In fact, I was listening to a LinkedIn expert the other day, and she was saying that LinkedIn are trialing in the States a shorts style feed, like a TikTok style feed for vertical video. It'll have a separate feed that you'll be able to, almost like TikTok, swipe up and see all of the vertical videos. We haven't got it yet, but that's my little king just come up to tell me to go for a walk. But we're likely to be getting it, which tells me that LinkedIn are getting onto the video bandwagon, if you like. And the reason being, it's personable. Nothing builds connections better than hearing somebody's voice or seeing somebody's face or both. So in that 20 minutes, you've got time to pick up your phone, forget whether you've got makeup on or not, forget whether you've done your hair, and just talk. Just spend a few minutes.
It's so funny you should say that, because in all the business contacts that I've got, I've probably got, I'd say 6 or 7 business contacts who use LinkedIn properly. So they're doing a lot of what you're doing in terms of reaching out B2B clients. And LinkedIn for them is their goldmine. It's where they get their work. It's how they make their business. And when I've spoken to them, all of them without a doubt have that ritual of the 60 minutes first thing in the morning with a cup of tea or coffee to get their day started, because they know it's done then. It's done and dusted, and then they can relax and enjoy what comes back. Because it is quite exciting when someone posts on your post, isn't it?
Yeah.
We all get a buzz.
Get that dopamine hit.
Yeah, absolutely. And you think, right, I'm onto something here, because this is creating a bit of a buzz and people are actually talking about it and stuff. So I think you're absolutely right, having that consistency, but also making the time. And that is hard for some people, Bev, because if you're like me, I'm a creative and I hate being prescriptive. But what I've learned over the last year, and I think in conjunction with working with you, is that some things you cannot not put in place, and that's one of them. Looking after your health, I agree. You're working out. I went back to the gym today. It was very painful after a break, but looking after your health is vital, but also making sure that you're looking after your business in the same way. It's not going to grow and it's not going to expand unless you expand your customer base, and this is the best way to do that. So you're absolutely right, putting those building blocks in place that aren't movable. And then if you are creative and you like a bit of spontaneity like me in your day, I don't like everything mapped out, then you've still got how many minutes? I've used up 8.4%. Quite a lot of minutes left, haven't I, in the day to go and be spontaneous and do what I feel like doing. Yeah.
I'm going to make an addendum to that connect, create, and whatever they were comment, because using what you've just talked about, what I would say in that 20 minutes of connecting, you can only connect with probably 10, 15 people a day before LinkedIn goes, no, you aren't paying us any money, therefore you can't have any more. What you could do is do 10 minutes of that connecting with new people, and then have a look through and see who's accepted your connection request in the last week or so, and just to those people who've accepted your connection, send a little voice message saying, thanks so much for connecting. I'm really looking forward to getting to know you. Have a fabulous week. So you've not dived straight into their inbox with a spammy email, spammy message, but you've given them a bit of a chance to have a look at your profile, to connect. They've obviously already made the decision that you are worth connecting with because they've accepted your connection request. I am challenged a little bit by this, because you know that I'm absolutely against inboxing somebody straight after you connect with them. But this to me feels like a much more human way of connecting, and not an algorithmic way of connecting. So I don't know, maybe that's the way. So it's 10-10-20-20.
We won't get bogged down in AI, but as AI takes over, and it is in everything now, that human connection, that one-to-one, hearing someone's voice, knowing that there is a real person at the end of it, I think is going to become more and more important, Bev, as time goes on. So I do think it's valuable that we've got that in our toolkit.
So Claire, what are your thoughts on, they always say, ask a question, because that encourages the conversation to go on. I find that really annoying.
Yeah.
Even if it's just, what are you working on at the moment?
Yeah.
Okay, that
feels
is so such a veiled sales pitch. So what are your thoughts on asking a question, or are you just happy to connect, say hello, wish them a great week, and leave it at that, and let them come back if they want to?
I think that, because what I've done then is opened up the conversation. I've shown them that there's a person at the end of it. When they comment on my stuff and I comment on their posts, they've got something to relate back to. And then only if there was something they posted that was required a more in-depth answer. So let's say they posted something around, they've got a problem with this, can anyone give any advice? I hate seeing like an essay written by 50 people. So sometimes what I'll do is I'll say, yes, I've got some thoughts on this. Similar thing happened to me. I've just sent you a message. Read if you've got time, or when you've got, it's quite lengthy. I didn't want to put it on here. Read it when you've got time, because again, you're offering value, but you're not boring them to death on the LinkedIn page, and you're showing you've gone the extra mile to give them that. But again, I still wouldn't sell in that. I'd wait until you've built a bit of rapport, because the last thing you do at a networking meeting where you've got an ideal opportunity to sell, because that's what you're there for, to tell people what you do and how you do it. But even that can feel spammy, can't it, when you're in the room with someone and all they want to do is talk about themselves and what they do before they've even found out if you need any help like that. And I think everybody that you meet has a potential to be useful for you in a business sense. And I don't mean that as an interpersonal, I want to use you. I mean, everybody knows somebody else. So if they can't use your services, being friendly, being nice, being open, listening to the conversation, give and take, adding value, but also, answering when you've been asked a question or you think you can add value, all that builds on the, do you know what, there is someone that I feel is quite trustworthy. I've not worked with them, but they seem really great and they're happy to answer questions. So on LinkedIn, that is building a conversation. But you're right, I do not try to veil or hide some kind of sales pitch, because inevitably you'll be blanked or you'll be taken off and unfollowed. And it's like, I don't really want to do that. I don't want.
Well, you don't want to break a relationship before you've even started it, do you? And I think people are curious, and I think we underestimate sometimes the intelligence of people. If you're, and this is why I always say you must start. If you haven't done this already, I plead with you to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Dead clear, unambiguous, because people do read your profile before they decide whether they want to connect with you. So have it optimized, but don't underestimate the fact that people can make their own decisions up. And I know we always say, oh, you must have a call to action on everything, because people won't take action if you don't tell them to. And to an extent, I do believe that if you're at the point of a sale or you want them to convert in some way, you do need that call to action. But I don't think if you pick up a microphone and voicemail somebody or video somebody, you have to say, and what are you working on today? This week, what projects are you working on? Or I don't know. That's the one that keeps coming to mind because I say it so often. But I don't think you have to say, if there's anything I can help you with, don't hesitate to get in touch. Or people like what you do and they see what you can do. Anyway. If they need you, they'll come to you.
Yeah, I have to say, Bev, when I'm commenting on LinkedIn or I'm engaging in a conversation, I always imagine that I'm in a room with that person, because it's just as easy when we say, that social media is bad because people can put bad things on there and there's no comeback because they'd never have the courage to say that face to face. Well, kind of in some respects within business, I feel the same way. I think you would never stand there and literally start selling yourself in front of somebody and hard selling to them the moment you've been introduced. So I always imagine I'm in the room with that person and imagine what I would say to them, and that's more natural. It feels more natural when I'm having those conversations, and for me it's definitely led to work, and that's the only way I've been. So I can't really say if it would have led to work if I'd put my sales prices up and my product prices up. I don't know, but I know that the way I do it leads to work. So I think and it will be kind of interesting, because I think I'm going to start doing this voice note thing to see how many people respond and what kind of response I get back, and see if that builds quicker.
Yeah.
Because I've literally, just kind of heard about it recently as a way to improve engagement and improve return responses. And it'll be interesting, won't it, to see how I get on. So I'm going to take your challenge up and fit some time in to do my stuff every morning, because I think that's really important.
It is. And at the end of the day, business is boring. We can gloss over it, but the bits of business that move the needle are the boring bits.
Yeah.
It's not it's not the glamorous bits. In reality, it's not the lovely networking events. They're great, and I'm not suggesting we don't do them, but it is the boring, consistent, persistence
Media,
that makes the difference. It's the bits that we go, I don't want to do that. I don't like doing that. Well, when you get to the point where you can outsource the bits you don't like doing, that's great. But for most of us, when we start, we are
but also,
everything.
Don't you think, though, also that there are some things you can't outsource? If you want someone to know, like, and trust your business, they have to get to know, like, you.
Well, I always say you can't outsource your personality.
Can't, absolutely. So this isn't something that you can think, or when I've got enough money, I can get rid of it. Yes, some of the other boring bits, definitely. But I do think it's so vital, but it's something that business owners are told to do, but not told the importance of.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can do all the other things that a business guru tells you. I've been on courses where they've, taught you not doing the same stuff you're doing, but taught you stuff for business. But they stress, if you don't do it and you don't execute it, you won't move that needle and you won't actually make the progress. And it's not until you're trying and nothing happens and you think, well, hang on, this isn't working. It must be the course, or it must be something that I'm not, I wasn't told. There's a secret something I'm not being let into. And actually it's not. It's the fact that you're not actually doing what you're meant to be doing. And that's really frustrating, I know. But until you can honestly say you've tried everything and you've got on with it and done it, even the really hard bits. And that's the crazy thing. Once you've done something more than half a dozen times, it's no longer hard. It might be boring. You still may not like it, but it's no longer hard. And that's the first hurdle. Once you got past the knowledge stuff and you've got through the hard bit, it's just a case of making it habit then, and you'll see the results, which is phenomenal. That's the biggest buzz.
Because in reality, the bits that really make the difference, they're not difficult. They're simple. The bits that make the difficult bits are learning new bits of software. Yeah. The difficult bits are learning how to edit videos nicely. They're the difficult bits that you can learn. You can just, you can get on Skillshare or whatever it might be, and you can learn them. The stuff that really moves the needle isn't difficult. It's not something you need to learn. It's just the things you need to do. And we don't do them because whilst they're not difficult, they are painful.
Yes.
They're painful because we self-doubt. We have imposter syndrome. They're difficult because we worry we're not good enough, that we don't know enough, that we don't look the part, that there's so much of it goes on in here. It's simple. What we know that what we need to do is simple.
You just need to get out of your own way and stop.
There's nothing in that 4% of your time that I've just suggested is difficult. We know how to connect with people. We know how to find them. We know how to press a little button that says audio, a little microphone button. We know how to talk. We know our subject. So there's nothing at all there that is difficult. It's just painful.
Yeah.
It's painful because it challenges us to do exactly what you've said and get out of our own way. And the truth is, you just have to do it. Just press the button.
So having said all that, I'm going to make it my moving forward, my 4.1%, 4.2% plan.
4.27, if I remember rightly.
0.27 plan to actually get on and do what's stopping me from getting where I want to be, because that is what moves you forward. Once you start to get some results in, it literally rolls, and you kind of like, you're on one, then you want to get further and further. So come on, ladies and gents, join us. Get that 4.2% done every morning. You don't have to run like Beverly if you don't want to, but the rest of us get on and do your LinkedIn and get organised each morning or each evening, whichever suits you best. You know, so I know some people that do it last thing.
Look, I've just had a very quick thought, actually. You know, my brain goes off at a million tangents. Claire, I don't know how you work with me, because it must be like,
it's fine.
I don't know, like a shotgun firing all of the time.
It's fine. Carry on.
I was having a conversation with my son yesterday. He's down in Reading, and he was helping me sort out something with my audio. And he said, "Mum, can you just jump onto Discord with me?" And I went, "Oh, I think I've got a Discord account. I don't know how to use it." And basically, Discord is a live streaming platform. And it's mainly, I think it's more for the younger generations use it more than we would. But anyway, I got myself onto Discord, and he helped me understand it. And I got myself on there with a profile picture of me, the same way I would on LinkedIn or Facebook. I'd got my name in full. And my son said, "Oh, you might want to change it to an avatar, a cartoon avatar rather than your face." He said, your face will look more professional, but you really want to kind of hide your identity a little bit. And I was thinking, that's a real shame, isn't it? And when I looked back, I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'll just tell you the story anyway. When I looked over some of the groups, I hadn't realised Discord is really good. You can search for sort of groups. So I was searching for ADHD groups, and there's a really good ADHD group. But I would say 2-3% of everybody on there had their picture, their actual photo. Every other one was a nickname and an avatar.
Wow.
And what I found really strange was, if that is a generational thing,
yeah,
why do those youngsters feel the need to mask their identity? Now, I kind of know, at the end of the day, I know. But where I'm going with this is, I think, why I like LinkedIn so much. I find it a very open, honest platform, despite all the spammy sales things.
Yeah.
Generally speaking, there's not so many scammers. There's not so many bots. And I think where I was getting to, in a very roundabout way, so if you've fallen asleep, you can wake up now. I'm nearly at the point. Is behind every profile on LinkedIn, forget business profiles, but behind every personal profile is a real person.
Yeah.
And I think that was what I felt yesterday on Discord. I felt it was very hard to go into that ADHD group and feel comfortable to have conversations, because nobody felt like a real human. It all felt like nicknames and avatars. Whereas on LinkedIn, you've got human beings there. And I think if we can remember that, and
that
talk
beautifully
to like a human.
That links beautifully back to know, like, trust, doesn't it? You cannot people sell to people. You cannot be trusted and known if you're an avatar and a nickname. You could be anyone on anywhere in the planet, and that's the important thing to remember, that despite all the modern changes, working from home, using Zoom, it's still really important to connect. And I think that's what we learned in lockdown, that connections are vital. They're vital to our human spirit. They're vital to us being able to assess someone and say they look trustworthy, or I believe what they're saying. That intonation of voice, the way that the body language that you miss out on when you've got an avatar or a nickname. So I think you're absolutely right, Bev. And really
a very long-winded story, but there you go, got there in the end. Right, I'm going to love you all and leave you. Claire, thank you very much. Talk to you all soon.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.